Good morning and welcome to Village in Motion. Today is Wednesday, August 1st, 2018, and it's time for our monthly call-in show for dining services with Chef
Here we
Michael
are
Ritt.
again.
Good morning.
Don't forget Mary.
And our dietitian, Mary Smith. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning,
And
good
before
morning.
I forget it, it is our call-in show. Let's give our telephone number is 703-663-3333. If you have questions of either of these knowledgeable folks, please give us a call. Meanwhile, tell us what's happening.
Nothing. You know, we can
Nothing,
go.
okay.
We're done.
Okay, that's
No,
it.
Actually, you know, we have a lot of things planned. You know, we have this big, Dinosaurs has a lot of great things coming up. We have the 20th anniversary that we're all talking about, and you're gonna see 20-year merchandise coming up. You know, that for giveaways and that we'll have in the stores. That's going to be coming up. We have the wine sale, and that'll all that information will be coming out with times and
The
locations.
20th anniversary is in the September or October.
It's pretty much going to be going through the remainder of the year.
It's a season.
It's a celebration for the rest of the year, the 20th anniversary of this beautiful community, and we're going to culminate with the night on the town. We're going to have the gala. We're going to have the night on the town, but we have a lot of other things going through the year. One of them, we're going to be doing a wine sale with a special 20th anniversary label, special wine. That'll be more information coming out. You'll see some merchandise coming out, things that we have a lot going on in August. Just to let everybody know, big thing is a week from this Sunday, the 12th, is the Seafood Fest.
What is the Seafood Fest?
The Seafood Fest is a seafood extravaganza. We're going to have lobster tails and crab and oysters and clams and make some etouffee and crab soup, and we're going to have some hush puppies and corn. And
I don't know what etouffee is. You lost me with that.
Etouffee is it's a Creole stew. It's got some shrimp and andouille, and you can make it with chicken. Put some okra in there, some peppers and onions, tomato based.
I see
Usually
a big pot.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Okay.
It's got a little kick to it because it's a Cajun Creole item, but serve it with rice. So we'll be serving some of that.
Now, where will this take place?
This will be taking place in Hunter's Crossing Conference Center Sunday. I think the start time. I'm going to grab my sheet.
This says from 4 to 7.
There you go. 4 to 7, and we're going to have the Surf Jaguars performing. They've been here numerous times at the Chili Cook-Offs. They were the same musical entertainment at last year's function. Did a phenomenal job, so they're going to be here performing. It's just, it's a great, obviously beer and wine.
Okay.
So I know that's a big thing.
Now, I do have to sign up.
Yes.
And there is a cost above and beyond my flex meal.
There is, and I think they just had the flyer up on the screen, but it's up on the screen now. But it's Flex Meal Plus.
Okay.
And I can tell you from, a menu standpoint that I dare you to go outside and find a menu like this for what we're selling it at. You won't find it. Even if you go to one of those famous seafood buffets, you won't get a selection like this with the quality that we're going to be serving.
Speaking of finding a menu like this, I have to pass you a compliment. We, of course, had our wonderful diversity fair last week, and the last act of entertainment in the fair was a family group, a mother and father and children. They were wonderful. And at the end, of course, they were hungry, and we had lots of food left over, and they were going around tasting food, and the father is tasting the food, and he said, "Where did you get this wonderful food?" And I said, "Well, our culinary group fixed it here." He must have asked me 4 times, are you sure they fixed it here? I said, "Yes, we have very talented people here."
Hats off to our culinary team, and everybody had something, their hand in it. It wasn't just one, it was the whole team. Kudos to Chandra for giving us her cauliflower and pea recipe. She pretty much gave us the ingredients, and we pretty much went off of her recipe, and we got tons of
hit.
It was a hit. We had the oxtail stew, we had lamb curry, We had stir fry. You know, so many. We had the pupusas, handmade
Those were good.
pupusas.
Those were really
And
good.
I tell you what, I think that was the hit for the function. And hats off to the Jefferson culinary team. They were making those, you know, pretty much, you know, almost to order. They were going so quick.
It was really wonderful.
So, and hats off to all the volunteers in that diversity committee. They did a great job. I think everybody really had a good time.
It was a terrific day.
Yeah.
And a lot of opportunity to taste a lot of foods that we wouldn't have otherwise tasted.
Absolutely, and I think that flowed with the previous night. We had culinary night.
Yes.
And we had some of the items that you had at diversity. You actually had at at culinary
dining
day.
rooms, yes.
And I think it was a great opportunity for our culinarians, not just our chefs, sous chefs, and lead cooks, but a lot of our line cooks and prep cooks actually.
I think everybody had fun with that.
Yeah, everybody wanted to put their hand in, so it went really well. So, but you know,
I think it was good for us to get to know some of the people back there in the kitchen that we don't normally know.
Yeah, you know, we even had bios made up, and we had information about the items, and then some of them actually were out in the lobby during the lobby treats
Right.
to talk about their food. One thing we want to talk about, you know, the big thing with the Seafood Fest, and I think Mary's got information she wanted to talk about, just the nutritional benefits about seafood as well.
Yes, right. Mary, what do you have to say about that?
Thanks for the
Educate
segue.
us.
No problem.
I'm really excited about the Seafood Fest. I've heard great. This is my first time that I'll be here for it, but I've heard great things about it. I think the first thing I just want to point out is that it's fresh. Like, that's the best part about seafood. When you get seafood, it's as fresh as it can be. You know, that stuff doesn't last long. So when you're eating it, you just feel good about what you're eating. It's not going to be frozen and, you know, shipped way across from the West Coast. It's from right around here. So that's really awesome that we have that available for our residents this upcoming. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I'm really big for protein, especially in older adults. So seafood is a great way that it's actually pretty low in calorie, but very high in protein, and also those essential omega-3 fatty acids. So when I say essential, what that means is your body is incapable of producing it itself. Like, you need to get that through your diet. Like, that's the only way to take it in. Of course, you can do like pill supplements, but that's not fresh and that's not as enjoyable as seafood, like going and hanging out with your friends. So that's really important. And I just wanted to highlight some of the research that's going on right now around seafood and shrimp and crab and lobster and fish itself. And actually, one of the most interesting things that is currently they're linking right now is that seafood is linked to slowing down macular degeneration, so keeping your eyes healthier for longer. And that's like a very common problem that starts happening in older adults. That's really interesting that, you know, they're starting to link that, okay, like the vitamins and minerals found in, you know, fish and seafood, high in like choline, vitamin A, and potassium, and all those things are actually protecting your eyes longer. The other one that research is starting to show now is that it's slowing cognitive decline. That's why when you research like the MIND diet, or like, which is the memory diet, or Mediterranean diet, they always promote intake of seafood and fish because they're showing that it helps preserve the gray matter in your brain, and that's kind of what gets those neurons firing back and forth to keep you cognitively there. So it will not prevent cognitive decline, but it is linked to slowing it down, which is a huge thing. And if you can enjoy the food at the same time, like, there's no reason you shouldn't go.
Good, it's good for you.
Yeah, it's
You know?
great.
Excellent
Yeah,
information.
and I have one more thing that I really want to hit home to people, because this is something that I see so much in Garden Ridge and with the older adults in general, is that as we get older, our skin does get really thin, and it's very easy to tear our skin, like just moving too much or just rubbing it against something so hardly, or anything that's coarse really, can develop into a skin tear, which then can later develop into a wound, and that's really hard in healing. But your nutrition is prime in healing your skin or keeping it nice and strong. In fact, most of the nutrition consults I get at Garden Ridge are to help people maintain their skin integrity. So seafood has almost all of the vitamins and minerals that I have to prescribe residents in Garden Ridge through supplements, because they may not be able to have seafood as often, because it's high in choline, which is great for skin and cell production, high in protein, which is needed for keeping your skin integrity nice and strong, and then also also just the zinc is really important, which is also high in seafood. And so there are so many benefits to seafood. Of course, I'm always just the biggest fan of just, you enjoy eating it. And so if you enjoy it, you're having a good time and it's good for you, like, come and join us. It'll be a lot of fun. So
I have a feeling that Phyllis's telephone is ringing right now just after hearing all
and
that.
again, the
Please
sign up,
go.
I think we're pushing the sign up to Monday the 6th. Again, calling Phyllis's number or stopping by Dining Admin, which is in Village Square across from the store. Listen, and this isn't just residents. We're opening it up. This is residents, employees, family, friends,
Good.
whoever wants to come, more than welcome. And again, it's going to be good time, good entertainment, wine and beer. I mean,
Sounds like a nice evening.
it's going
Now,
to.
it says from 4 to 7.
We're not going to kick you out at 7.
Okay.
It's not like the gates come down and like, let's go.
But should you show up at 4?
Yeah, usually, we get into the good. The reason we changed the time is that the Jefferson dining room does brunch that day. So brunch is over around 1:30, so around 2 o'clock. So it really gives us the freedom of the kitchen those last few hours to get everything together, and it makes it for an easier production for us. So, and we've done this we've done this so many years. We enjoy it.
You're good at it.
Well, listen, I'm not. We are good at it.
You got a good team.
And yeah, it's a great team. And listen, we like the stuff too.
That's good.
So,
Okay.
a few other things coming up. I want to go over.
There's something important tomorrow.
There is.
There is. Tomorrow is National Ice Cream
Oh.
No,
Sandwich
you're
Day.
stealing my thunder.
Oh, but it sounds like a nutritional event to me.
Oh, it is high nutrition. It's
Sandwich? Isn't
nothing
that-
but low
isn't
fat
that-
ice cream
Good for the
sandwiches.
soul.
Isn't
Yeah,
sandwich
it is.
nutritious just
It-
by
it-
definition?
It is. It is.
Yes.
No, it's National Ice Cream Sandwich Day, and we're gonna have the lobby treats. What I would do is, they have it up on the screen right now, the different lobbies and when they're gonna be doing the treats. But again, all that information is up on obviously Channel 6 here, the Village Bridge, the community boards, and you can always ask if you forget at the host stand tonight. When will we be doing your lobby treats? And they'll give you that information. We also have the Woodland Skies Town Hall Thursday the 2nd from 10 to 11. It's going to be right here in Village Square in the Woodland Skies dining room. Again,
Wait. Today is Wednesday. Oh, that's right. Everything is, that's tomorrow, all of it. The ice cream sandwiches and the Woodland Skies Town Hall.
big busy day.
I'm
busy
sorry.
day.
I have
That's
to get
okay.
that straight in my head.
And then on Friday we have our farmers market. Now we have a slight change. We're moving the farmers market indoors.
Okay.
Last week we pulled it indoors during the cookout, and both Null's Produce was very happy because there's a larger, movement of people around there. There's a lot of, people visiting town center. Indoors, you get a lot of foot traffic through there.
Yeah.
Where people saw that they were there.
Yeah, and the residents enjoy it because it's been a little warm these last few weeks.
Right.
So we're moving it indoors, and it's going to be for the 3rd, which is this Friday, and 2 weeks from this Friday, the 17th, it'll be indoors. And I think everybody enjoys it. Everybody, and they're not just bringing produce. They're bringing some baked goods in the fall. Hopefully, last year they brought some flowers. So it's just,
I think they had some flowers
Yeah.
last week.
yeah. So and I think the residents really enjoy it. It saves them the trip of going out.
Good.
We bring it to you.
Yeah.
Good.
We also have at the end of this month, near the end of this month on the 21st, we have our focus group.
Now, what is
And
the focus group? That's kind of a
Focus-
new thing.
Focus group is pretty much what we do is we want to bring everybody together. It's in the Village Square Theater. It's Tuesday the 21st from 2 to 3 p.m. And basically we want to have a review of the program. Not necessarily, we'll answer any questions, but I think we want to discuss more about the program, what we're doing, what's coming up, any information about dining service as a whole. Yes, if residents have certain questions that pertain to individual, venues, of course we'll answer those. But again, we like to use the individual town halls for those more, questions that pertain directly to if you have a question about Woodland Skies, great opportunity to go to that town hall. Now, if you come to our focus group, obviously we're not going to say, no, you can't ask those questions.
I went to the last one. It was really, really educational for me. But one of the questions people asked was, are our vegetables canned or are they fresh? And you were able to expand on that subject.
And we talked about how the produce company we use, and we get 6-day-a-week deliveries, and how we look at the seasonal rotation of produce and just changing things up and just taking advantage of it. We're pretty much 95%, do we buy frozen peas every now and then, or frozen carrots, the diced carrots? But I would say 95% of our produce is fresh. You'll see that truck here every day.
And just to piggyback off of you, there's like a very strong myth and belief that canned vegetables or frozen vegetables are not as good as frozen or fresh vegetables.
You and I kind of agree on this point.
Yeah, and it's a huge myth, because when I had to lead grocery store tours to low-income families at one part in my career, but it's cheaper. And actually, all they're doing is freezing it. What you really want to look for is if they're adding additional flavors. So sometimes you can go to pick up a canned vegetable, and they'll have additional flavors, like an Asian melody. That's very common to find in canned or frozen vegetables. But they're adding sodium and taste to it. But you can find vegetables without additional flavors, without additional salts, juice, or anything added to it, and the nutritional value is just as strong.
And you kind of want to look at the time of the year. If it's December and you want to get fresh broccoli, think, okay, that fresh broccoli is coming from where and how long did it take to get here?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you'd rather have fresh broccoli that was frozen fresh out of the field.
And like Mary says, once you take a product off its stalk, you're cutting off its source of nutrients and how it gets the nutrients. So when you freeze it, and a lot of times they freeze them at these farms.
Right.
They have the plants, they're
Right
cut,
there.
they take them there, and they flash freeze them.
Yes.
And you're capturing all those nutrients. Everybody's big on fresh produce. You go to your grocery store, well, we're all the way here in Virginia. Now, yes, we have a lot of local farms here, but not everything comes from the Mid-Atlantic. There are items that come, a lot of your lettuces come from California. Well,
and in the wintertime, they're coming from Chile.
Or Mexico, or like you said, South and Central America. And the crops rotate because of the season. So there's transportation. You get the frozen, boom, it's cut, quick frozen, boxed up, so, and I agree with Mary. Again, do your due diligence, look at the label and see if there's...
But whatever we have, you're looking to get the most nutritious for us,
absolutely,
served to us in our dining
absolutely,
venues.
And I think we've done a pretty good job with that. A couple other things coming up. We have our Mix and Mingle on the 23rd. It's a Thursday. Again, Village Square, Akatik Room from 1 to 3. And this is another great opportunity. This is more just very casual, very laid back. We're gonna, we'll have some appetizers out there. I think some of the executive team will be there as well. And it's just, just hey, how you doing? How things going? It's not a forum. It's not, if you have questions or answers, it's also a great time to have that, one-on-one, talk. If you want to talk to all the managers, do come through there. So if you want to talk to certain managers from dining or the chefs, it's a great opportunity.
But it's the rest of the executive team also. It's not just dining services, right?
And we'll have the rest of the executive team down there. So it's just a very laid-back, easy-going, quiet, opportunity. And then we also have our cookout. Again, end of the month. We did
That's right. I went last week. It was good.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of residents, it's at the end of the month. If you have that extra flex meal, it's a great way to utilize it. It's both for residents and staff. It's been a hit.
And if you've used up all your flex meals, I think
we
it's
can
$6.
do resident charge or cash.
Yeah.
So we can do cash, resident charge, flex meal. So if you want that opportunity, take advantage of
We
it.
had hot dogs and hamburgers.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, veggie burgers. We got baked beans, coleslaw, potato salad, watermelon, chips,
Everything you could ask.
drinks.
Sit outside.
And it's all, you can either sit there or everything's boxed up so you can take it with you.
Yeah.
You know.
That
Good.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen. Who don't like a cookout?
There you go.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And then coming in September,
Yeah.
back by popular demand, is our world famous steak night.
Ah,
We're going to do that September 12th.
Yay.
It's a Wednesday, I think. Obviously, more information will come out. You know, we're more than a month away, but listen, the residents, you know, they loved it. And, you know, it goes back, you and I have had this conversation. Mary's been on conversation. Listen, we hear you.
Yeah.
You know, we listen to your comments. We listen to, there's so many forums. This is being one of them. The focus group, the mix and mingle. You know, how we
And
get
the comment
communication.
cards.
The comment cards, the new comment
The new
cards.
comment
That I
cards. I
think
hope
are a lot
everyone has
easier,
those.
and I think everybody realizes they're a lot easier. It's quick. Put your point down.
but you
know.
still have room to give a comment.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's the best of both worlds, and then I encourage everybody to fill them out. You know,
Yes.
listen, I've been saying it for 6 years. Don't know what you don't know.
We have a telephone call.
Oh, yay.
Absolutely.
Caller, may we have your question, please?
I hope it's an easy one.
Hello? Uh-oh, our call isn't coming through. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
No, there's a loud whistle. I don't know why that is. Oh, my heavens. Anyway, you can hear me evidently. So I'm calling about the salmon. My daughter had a question that I didn't know the answer. And the salmon, is it Atlantic farmed salmon or is it the wild salmon?
It's Atlantic farm, wild salmon, the coho salmon that everybody talks about. Yeah, you can get it in the store, but wild caught salmon, you know, we'd be raising everybody's fees here if we served only wild caught salmon.
We have so
It's-
much salmon, sir.
It's pricey because it's line caught. It's the Alaskan coho salmon, wild salmon that they're talking about. But when people say farm raised, let's think about how they farm raise them. They're actually Prince Edward up in Canada, and the farms are actually out in the ocean. They have these pens, and they're huge. It's not like they have this little box that they throw them all in. They have these large pens. They're nets, and they're probably like, you know, hundreds of yards, you know, maybe a quarter of a mile, half a mile. They're very large areas. Now they have the nets to keep them grouped in there, and they're pretty much in the ocean, and they're controlled that way, fed that way. So it's
It's kind of like the free-range chicken of
pretty
salmon
much of salmon.
farming.
So yeah, and again with the season, at times is there Chilean that from Chile that we get
Right.
the salmon from? Yes, but you know that again, that's farm raised. And I would tell you that a majority of the salmon that you buy today
It's farm raised.
is farm raised.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to a Wegmans and buy your wild salmon, but
it's going to be
look at I just
prohibitively
stand at that
expensive.
case and look at the price.
Yeah.
You know.
We have
So-
another caller. May we have your question, please? Hello?
No call.
No call. That was
Sure.
But thanks for that other
That was
call. That was a good question.
Yes, yeah, that was a good question.
But you know, as you can see, we have a lot of every month we have a lot going on.
We
you
do.
know.
I have one quick question.
Sure.
And under the Mythbusters
Oh, goodness.
title.
All right.
Because
Yes.
we know people are thinking, okay, what's going on in town center? They're talking about all these changes and all the changes in the dining rooms. Nothing is happening yet, correct?
No, and to use a government term, that's above my pay grade. But there's really nothing going on. You know, we're going to be finishing up the kitchen this year. Again, we all live in this beautiful county, Fairfax, and permitting is not a quick and easy process here. And you know, Fairfax County does their due diligence, but we have the plans set, and we know what we're doing in the kitchen aspect. As far as town center,
Still working on the plans.
Still working on
finalizing,
it,
so-
exactly.
So don't worry about it, not to
Yeah,
fret.
there's
It
listen,
will happen when it happens.
and there'll be plenty of communication coming out
Yes.
for everybody.
No one will be
Right?
starving.
You won't wake up one day and see the cranes and the trucks in
That's
there.
right. No one will be starving.
No,
No one
no.
will be fed sitting
You know,
on the curb.
if those remember when we closed the kitchen for signature dining, we closed for about a week.
Right.
I don't think anybody missed a meal then.
I don't think
I
so
don't
either.
No.
I don't think we'll have any problem
So
with that.
now, come repositioning, but we already are talking about options, and listen, like you said, you're not going to starve.
We will find a way. I'm sure that you'll
You know,
have us all well fed, probably better than normal.
Well,
Yes.
we're going to trust me. You're not going to miss a meal.
There we go. That sounds good. And we'll just remind folks, those of you who live in the Woodland Skies neighborhood, if you want to bring your concerns and questions tomorrow to the town meeting in Woodland Skies, it will be in the Woodland Skies dining room at 10 o'clock from 10 to 11. So please feel free to join there, and the Woodland Skies leadership team will be there to answer your questions and talk with you then. What else would you like to add?
I mean, I always say questions, concerns, comments. You see myself walking around, running around, stop me. Like I know I said it earlier, I don't know what I don't know, but, take advantage of all these communication venue pieces and all these open forums that, we have. Listen, we want to hear the good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
don't forget to add the good.
Yeah, we always, I think we have a phenomenal dining team here. Listen, it's proven fact. We're the top dining performance. I'm going to say it. We're the top performing
best.
dining team in this enterprise.
We are very
I
happy
agree.
to have you.
And it's a whole team. It's everybody. It's from the top all the way down, and great chefs, great managers,
And you're an
great
enthusiastic
servers.
team.
Yeah.
Mary, what
Yeah.
would you like to add before we leave?
Just that I hope to see everybody at the Seafood Fest.
There you go. That's what I'm
Good.
talking about.
Let's
Good.
go.
And we thank you for all
Good
the
plug.
education that you give
thank
us
you.
every
You're welcome.
time.
Oh, of course.
Glad you joined
Great
us.
to be here.
Mary will be
Okay.
walking around giving you personal nutritional information while you're eating.
That's all right.
So much
That's
protein
good.
you're
That's why
eating.
she's
Keep
here.
going.
That's good.